Warm Springs River. Daylight moves the wind while the river fastens on a cloak of rippling tensions. Through the weeds, sage blossoming, skin shivers from the distance of heat in the pinto sky, bright with expectations. Thirst has fingertips of grief over remnant scaffolds of small flowers. As one markless palm of thunder at the rim rock, the broad pulse of the body has been overwhelmed. A filament of light wavers on the liquid turn over lichenous stone. It sinks in its own gravity. It is a quick fin and tail. Well, the Warm Springs River goes from the mountains to Canida to the Deschutes River, and this place is a distinctive one in my childhood because the longhouse is here, the Hee Butte Longhouse. As a child, I would spend time here looking at the rocks, looking at the spirals on the surface, the water skippers. The land is like, as my uncle describes it, the long memory. You know, that it's what brought us our teachings. My name is Elizabeth Woody, and I am Navajo in Warm Springs and Yakima Nation. I'm born for the Bitterwater clan. And you can see here my grandfather's mother. This is her beadwork, and she's posing with all of it. I like to introduce myself as my mother's people are Wayampum and Watlala and Wasco. And my father is, Totochini, and I'm also descendant of the Coyote Pass clan. For me, I love to write. I love words, I love sounds, I love songs, I love stories.
In 2016, Governor Kate Brown appointed artist, educator, and award-winning writer Elizabeth Woody as Oregon's 8th Poet Laureate and the first Native American in the position.
The ancestors sing. This is not one voice, but the beginning of all voices in unison. Yes, crescendo waves of spiral utterances of the plateau canyons. Blue herons rise from the river. The river returns pervasive with silver and red nusuk. I think my work is very much embedded in this landscape. And embedded in these times. I also think that my work as a poet laureate, well, anything that I do is always shaded by being a Native woman.
Elizabeth was selected by the Native Arts and Cultures Foundation to receive the 2018 Artist Fellowship, a prestigious position which provides additional support to showcase her work locally and nationally.
I thought, well, if it happens, it'll be good for me. It's intended to happen this way. And I got the fellowship. My mom died in 2015. And I know that my auntie and my uncle are really proud of me and all that. But I know my mother would be busting her buttons. She would just love to tell everybody what I'm doing, where I'm at. And I think that that's probably what makes it so special for me.
She says she comes from a group of storytellers, and I think that's really true. Liz says that during those times she had to be a good listener and has listened to all those voices from the past that are so important and also make up part of her poetry.
As a child, I spent most of my time not reading so much, but listening. My grandparents told stories and spoke quite lyrically, powerfully. Everything about language was important. And in the Navajo tradition, sacredness emanates from the tip of your tongue. I think that's a beautiful way of Thinking of it is that when you speak, you're actually participating in something significant.
This is what poetry can do for you, or the poet can do for you. A lot of people have this inside at the tip of their tongue, but they don't get a chance to express it.
I went to the Institute of American Indian Arts eventually after I took all the classes at Portland State and was a creative writing major. And we had a literary magazine and a press that we published in and received a national award for. Well, I have 3 books of poetry. The first was Hand into Stone. The second and third were Luminaries of the Humble and 7 Hands, 7 Hearts. And then I got the American Book Award, and later on I got the William Stafford Memorial Award for Poetry for Luminaries of the Humble, which was my second book. And I was very proud of that because Bill Stafford was so important to me. He was very influential.
One of her favorite poems is about David So Happy and She Who Watches. And David So Happy was this religious leader who fished along the Columbia River and was a real spiritual leader and who believed in practicing the old ways.
She Who Watches, the names are prayer. For David So Happy, April 25th, 1925 to May 7th, 1991. My humanness is an embellished tongue. The bell, a yellow mouth of September's moon, beats outward. She speaks for all the names that clang in memorial. There is Celilo dispossessed, the village of neglect and bad structure. The falls are faint rocks enrippled in the placid lake of backwaters. With a sad stone grief and wisdom, I overlook the railroad. The tight bands rail along the whirls of the Columbia. Drowning is a sensation fishermen and their wives know of. Men who fished, son after father. There are drownings in the Dalles, hanging in jails, and off-reservation suicide towns. A strange land awaits the fisherman, as it had for the Nez Perce, the Navajo, the Cheyenne, those who wailed in the long walks, keened open the graves of their families, the dead children, my children, with names handed down and unused. Nimipu, Dene, Tzitzas, the people, pure in emergence. The immense mother is crying, human beings. The words are tremors in the ribcage of hills. The consumption of loneliness binds us. Children lie on the railroad tracks to die from the wail of night and spirits. I watch for the rushing head of chaos, and flat hands grope from the cattle cars, clamor in the swift, fresh air. A sky is clicking through the regular slats. The tail whips the dusty battles of the Indian Wars, unsettling itself, nude and raw. Celilo Falls sank unwillingly in the new trading, and everyone dissolved from the fall. I'm writing because I want to make my mother laugh, and I want my auntie to feel some sort of connection. I want my uncle's children to read my work and see things that I've seen that they may never see. Poetry is like ringing the bell. It goes, and it keeps ringing. And sometimes there's experiences that are like that just keep ringing in you. And I'm able to put it into writing in a way that hopefully other people can feel it as well.